What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? This is the live Blender challenge, or not the live Blender challenge, the live Blender Q&A and tutorial. What's up, guys? What is going on? What's up, everyone? Happy Friday or Saturday, wherever you're coming in from. What's up, everyone? Give me a second. Again, guys, this is a live Q&A. Hello, what's up, Jeru? What's up, guys? This is a live Blender Q&A. Hey, what's up, May Samba Harry? Sorry if I butcher anyone's names. I mean, you guys, some of you got some crazy usernames that I can't pronounce. What's up, everyone? This is the live Blender Q&A and tutorial. So once again, if you have any questions regarding anything in Blender, you could ask it tonight. We're going to answer some questions live, and then we're going to do a live tutorial. Now, let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm live on YouTube. I don't know if anyone can tell me. Hi, what's up, Ronia Budargam? Hey, Artish, what's up? Love you. It's okay, love you tried. Hey, it's all good, man. I'll get your name. Okay, we're live on YouTube as well. All right, guys. So let's rock and roll. Hi, what's up, Dupin? What's up, Dupin? Again, sorry if I butcher everyone's names. You know, I am French, so this is my second language. What's up, Luke? What's up, Ab? Good to see you guys. Once again, guys, join in the Zoom. How many types of cameras on Blender? Like any special one or there? So as far as types of cameras in Blender, there's only one camera. There's different camera settings. So sure, I'll get into that as the first question. What's up, Venu? I'll get into different camera settings in Blender quickly because that's definitely useful. By the way, guys, if you want to see it in full screen, go to the Zoom link. Again, you don't have to talk. You don't have to show your face. But on Zoom, you'll be able to see it in full screen. Whereas on Instagram, you can barely see anything. How can sell model for crypto? I mean, you could sell your models on like turbosquid.com or Blender Marketplace or things like that. So you could upload your models there, my friend. I saw that you had an architecture course for Blender. Are you an architect? I'm not an architect, but I have a course on pretty much anything and everything in Blender at this point. So I guess that would make me an architect, an animator, a geometry nodes expert, a shader nodes guy, a modeling guy. I'm just everything at this point. All right. So I'm going to get to Venu's question first. He's asking how many types of cameras on Blender, like any special one or three. So I'm going to go over some of the different camera settings because that's kind of neat. So again, guys, if you want to see in full screen, join the Zoom link. I'm going to post the link on Instagram and on YouTube right there. Once again, you could go to zoom.com and click on join in the top right and just put in the ID 891 19254656 and you could join in. Yeah, you're amazing. Mesambari says, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, so as far as the camera setting right here, guys, if you select your camera and you go to the camera properties, and once again, if you're on Instagram, you're not going to see much, so go to Zoom. In the camera properties, there's some, I'm going to go over just a couple of options here because otherwise we'll be here all day. But right here, we have the perspective type. So right here, we have type, and we could actually have our camera in perspective mode or orthographic mode. So if you've ever wanted to do a two-dimensional rendering or a two-dimensional image, such as a stick figure image, you could actually change your camera to orthographic view right there. You also have panoramic view. Never really used that one. But you can see with orthographic view right here, it's basically going to, it's the same thing as if you hit 5 on your numpad. to go in and out of orthographic and perspective view. So you could actually render out in orthographic view, which is pretty cool. Then you have the focal length right here. In layman's terms, this focal length is basically going to kind of widen your lens and show you more of your scene or less in your scene. You could actually set this to be specific to different cameras. For example, if you Google different cameras, they will give you the different focal lengths for different cameras. For example, if you use a Canon DSLR or just a iPhone or whatever, they all have different focal lengths. So you could set that right there. Another cool option is the depth of field right here. Once again, guys, we're going over some camera settings. If you're on Instagram, at least go to YouTube, guys, because you're not seeing any of the settings that I'm showing here. Or join in the Zoom, like I said. I'm going to post the Zoom info right here, because right now you're not going to see anything really. Guys, the depth of field, if you're not using that, very, very cool. It basically allows for you to create a depth of field effect. So, for example, wherever you're sitting right now, if you hold an object in front of you and you focus on that object, everything else around is blurred out. So we could do the same kind of effect in Blender. So for example, here, if I add other cubes right here, and here I could enable depth of field, and I could put the focus object, let's say, as this cube right here. And then the f-stop right here is going to dictate how blurry it is. Now let me go into rendered viewport shading mode so that we could actually see it. And you can see that these other cubes are out of focus, just like in real life. You usually always have depth of field. So this is a very useful little thing in the camera. Again, depth of field. And you could change the f-stop right here to make it less or more blurry. As you can see, the cubes in the background are getting blurry. Pretty cool. So that's the depth of field. And then we have right here, I've actually never used the camera right there. We have different options such as the safe area and stuff. But as far as the other option I like on the camera is the viewport display. I like to turn the pass part out to 1 so that we only see what's actually going to be rendered. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a bunch of other options. You can see on the camera, we have composition guides. So we have like the rule of thirds right here, which gives you these lines for composition. We have center right here. And again, you could kind of see it. We have these center lines right here to kind of composite your scene a little bit better. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding anything in Blender? Again, it could be something simple, something complex. It could be geometry nodes, shader nodes, compositing, modeling, animation, texturing, rigging, whatever you want. If anyone has any questions whatsoever, just go ahead and ask it, and I will answer it. Let me know if that kind of helps you for the camera question, my friend. I know you were asking how many types of cameras, but there's only one type of camera per se. All right. So when a car going on a high speed, when how to set over camera way, like how to draw a path and that connect to the camera. I'm not sure if I understand your question, Venu. If you could rephrase it. So when a car going on a high speed, on how to set over camera, like how to draw a path and that connect to the camera. Okay, I think your question is how to draw a path that the camera is going to follow. So hopefully that's your question. Let me know if that is. But great question. So again, the question is how to draw a path that the camera will follow. It's very simple. All we're going to do is hit Shift-A. We're going to add a curve, Bezier curve. Then go into edit mode, delete the vertices. We're going to get the draw option for the curve, and we're just going to draw a curve like so. Let me redraw it. So we're just going to draw a curve like that. Then we could select our camera, shift select the curve, Control P, and set the parent type to follow path right here. And now you can see that when I play this, the camera is going to follow the path, as you can see right there. So let me go ahead and reset it. So you can see that right here, the camera is following the path, as you can see. Now, right here, there's a bunch of different settings that you could change under the curve, under path animation. You can see that we have different options right here for the follow curve. And one that I'm going to uncheck is follow right here. So right here, if I uncheck follow, you could see, well, right here, the camera is a little tilted. Let me untilt it. Geez, I'm all disoriented. So right here, you can see that the camera is following along the path. However, we could also make it track to something. So for example, if we look at the camera right now, it's kind of a little bit all over the place. But we could also make it track to something. So for example, right here, we could hit Shift A. We could add an empty, a plain axis. And then right here, we could select the camera, go to the constraints, and add a track to constraint, and select the empty as the constraint right here. So now wherever the empty moves, you could see the camera will follow along. So for example, if you have a car that's driving, you could parent this empty or just make the car itself the track to object. And so for example, let's pretend that this is the car. In fact, let me go ahead and add a cube. And I'm just going to parent this empty to the cube right here. And then now when I move this, you can see the camera follows. So now I could add a keyframe here for the cube and move to, let's say, frame 250 or around here. And I could hit GY and move it over and add another location keyframe. You can see that now it's going to follow the curve and follow the cube, as you can see right there. Pretty cool. So again, obviously you need to tweak it a little bit better because this is some interesting camera angles. But basically all you want is a curve. Select your camera and then shift select the curve, Control P, and set it to follow path. And then add a track to constraint on the camera for it to track to whatever object you're trying to get it to follow. Hopefully that helps you, my friend. Let me know if you have any questions regarding that. What's up, guys? This is a live Q&A and live tutorial. Happy Friday, guys. What's everyone up to on the weekend? Maybe some Blender. By the way, if anyone else has any other questions, go ahead and ask it. Again, we're going to do Q&A for a little while, and then we're going to get to the live tutorial. So does anyone have any questions? And again, guys, the questions don't have to be complex. It could be simple questions. How to delete the default cube. It could be more complex, whatever you want regarding anything, and I will answer it live. So just let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. And let me know. Venu says, thanks. Anytime, man. And Venu, if you want the file, I'm going to upload the file to blendermania3d.com in the public chat. So you could download it from there if you want. So let me do that for you right now. Desktop, I'm going to name it camera. Again, on blendermania3d.com, in the top right, there is a public chat. And you just have to log in and you will see the file. So I'm going to post it there if you want to look at it. All right, guys. Does anyone else have any other questions regarding anything? How to do a chest workout exercise. No, I'm kidding. Some Blender questions, guys. Again, it could be geometry nodes, shader nodes, compositing, how to create realistic beach with incoming waves. For that, I'd have to get back to you on that because honestly, I hate the water simulation in Blender. The water simulation in Blender is terrible. That's the only part of Blender that I don't like. So I did do some tutorials in the past on creating waves and the beach with water simulation. However, I don't like to do it that way anymore because there's so many bugs with the water sim. I don't know. It's just pretty terrible. So I wouldn't do it that way. I'd probably do it like, well, here, let me show you one way I did it. This is not necessarily realistic, but I did a beach using only shader nodes. So for example, right here, I wouldn't do it this way for a realistic beach because again, it's not realistic necessarily. Beach right here. Isn't there a way to do it without fluid sim? Yeah, you could do it with geometry nodes, but for that I would have to take a little bit more of a look at it because I haven't done too much simulations with geometry nodes. But yeah, I would do it with geometry nodes instead of simulations, instead of a water sim. But even if I get into that, it's going to be, like I said, I got to take a look at it a little bit first, and then it would be quite a long thing. But that's something I could do for another time. I just have to take a look at it a little bit first and see the best way about it because it will be a little bit of tinkering and messing around with the geometry nodes on my end. Let's see if this loads up. But yeah, I would do it with geometry nodes, man, because the water sim is just horrible. What are we doing today? DD Nitro says. We're doing a live Q&A and tutorial. Sorry, I can't answer your question better, is Michael. But what I'll do is I'll look into that a little bit and then I could do a live tutorial on that for sure. When I was using dynamic paint canvas as wave effect and my object as paint with a lot of meshes, it doesn't work. But as I use simple default cube, it works. Why is that? Did you unwrap it, Ash Carcass? Did you unwrap it properly? So here, as you could see, again, this is just a wave effect built with just shader nodes. So as you could see right here, I thought I had animated it. I guess not. But anyways, I'm able to animate this. Again, this is just with shader nodes. But for a realistic beach, I would take a different approach with geometry nodes. But this one is just 100% shader nodes, and I could also animate it. I thought I had animated it, but I guess I didn't. As far as the Ash Carcass, did you unwrap your mesh? So let me check. And let me check here. So he's asking something about dynamic paint. He's asking, I was using dynamic paint canvas as wave effect and my object as paint with a lot of meshes, but it doesn't work. But I used a simple default cubes. It worked. Why is that? So you need to make sure first that on the dynamic paint, you need to make sure that your mesh is touching your other mesh. So right here, we have the canvas, obviously. And then we have, for example, the brush. You need to make sure that also it is unwrapped. So if it's not unwrapped, it's not going to work properly. So right here, let me see if I still remember how to use dynamic paint. So it's been a while since I used it, actually. Location. Let me see. Let me change this to from paint to. Are you using, you said you're using the wave effect or the displacement effect? Because instead of changing it to wave right here, you can see right here it's working fine. So You can see right here it's working fine, my friend. Is there? Yeah, I have it set to wave effect. What are we making today? We are doing a live Q&A and tutorial. And for the tutorial, we will be making some low poly clouds with geometry nodes. So Ash Carcass, right here, it's working fine. Do you have Ash Carcass? If you want to put your dot blend on blendermania3d.com in the public chat, I could take a look at it and see what the issue is. Oh, sounds awesome. Grumpier says. Grumpier Annie. Interesting name. So yeah, if you want to post it on the public chat, my friend, I could take a quick look at it and see what the issue might be. But as you can see right here, it seems to be working fine. So I'm not sure. It's probably specific to yours. It might be a glitch. It might be a setting. I'm not sure. I would have to take a look at it. If you want to share your dot blend on the site, I can do that. All right. Does anyone have any questions? By the way, for the person who was asking about the wave and stuff, you could definitely use dynamic paint, and you could get some interesting kind of looks, as you could see, as far as like water ripples and stuff that would work better than using the fluid simulation. So you could do some really cool stuff with dynamic paint, as you could see right there. And yeah, dynamic paint is definitely pretty freaking sweet. Let me see if I could, if I drop it down into the water, what it does. So you can see we could get some really cool water effects with dynamic paint that work a lot better than the fluid simulation in my particular messing around with it. Again, the fluid sim is like the one thing in Blender that I hate, because there's always a bug and it always breaks in like 2 seconds. All right, does anyone have any questions regarding anything? And again, the person who was asking about this, if you want to share your Blender file, and I'll take a look at it directly, because I'm not sure why it's not working. I would have to look at it. All right. Anyone have any questions regarding anything? And let me see. Let me get a new file here. By the way, guys, we do this every single weeknight. We have a live every single weeknight, same time, same place. The official community, the official site for this community is blendermania3d.com if you ever need help or want to share your work. And to get the Blender hotkey mousepad, LOL, works wonders. The Blender hotkey mousepad? Oh, do they have that? They have the hotkeys printed on a mousepad? That's funny. I gotta look that up. That's funny. I've never heard of that. That's a good idea. Checking the site out now. Official Rob says. Yeah, guys, the site is blendermania3d.com. We have a live chat, a public chat, a forum, all that good stuff. Again, that is the official site for this community. But yeah, that's cool for the Blender mousepad. All right, does anyone have any questions regarding anything? And again, I will do my best to answer it. Again, with the wave thing, I'll have to look into it a little bit more, because that's a little bit more of a complex thing. And I don't want to have to use the fluid sim again to do that. Again, that's how I did it in the past, but honestly, it causes too many issues and I hate it. All right. Let me see. Just repeat it. Can we watch the live after it end? Just repeat it. Yeah, for sure. The live, guys, if you want to watch the live after it's over, it will be on my YouTube channel. So on my YouTube channel, Blender Mania, the live is on there. Just click on the lives tab and you'll see all the past lives. They are all on my Blender Mania YouTube. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding anything? Again, it could be simple stuff. If you're brand new and you don't know something like how to move a cube, it could be geometry nodes, shader nodes, animation, texturing, how to make a specific texture, what a certain node does, whatever you want. A lot of models that can be downloaded from Blender Kit has a cross that rigs the full model and allows to move it. How to make that? I think that's just an empty, my friend. So Mary the Bat, again, an interesting name, says that there's a cross when you download the rig that allows to move the full model. So I believe that that's just an empty. So for example, if I have these objects, let's just pretend this is a person. If I hit Shift A and I go to empty, I could add an empty plane axes. If I go to the empty properties, I could increase the size of it. And now you could see we have this cross that you're talking about. If I shift select everything and select the cross last, I could hit Control P and parent it to the object. And now this cross is going to control everything. I'm having problems using displacement with Boolean holes. Are you talking about the displacement modifier or the displacement node? And what exactly are you trying to do, Grumpier? Do you just have like a hole in the mesh and you're trying to add some displacement around it, or? Let me know if that answers your question, Mary the Bat. Again, I believe they're just using an empty and everything is parented to the empty. So again, if you hit Shift A and go to empty, you could add a plane axis. Thank you very much. Anytime. Yeah, and then if you want to unparent it, you could select everything that's parented to it, select the empty last and hit Alt P and select clear parent, and now it will no longer be parented. Displacement needs subdivision when I cut windows from the Boolean and add displacement texture for windows. Displacement needs a subdivision when I cut windows from Boolean and add displacement textures for windows. Grumpier, are you able to share a screenshot of the issue on the chat? So again, if you go to blendermania3d.com, in the public chat, if you're able to share a screenshot of what you're talking about. Mary the Bat says, wonderful. Anytime. Displacement needs subdivision when I cut windows from the Boolean. I mean, if you're making windows, I wouldn't necessarily use a Boolean. I mean, I'm curious, how are you making your windows? Because are you making a house? If you're making a house and you want to make windows and stuff, sure. So if you're making a house, I recommend to use the Archimesh add-on. Are you familiar with that add-on? So right here, we have an add-on. If you go to Edit Preferences Add-ons, you have Archimesh right here. And we could simply, if I hit the N key, you can see we have Archimesh right here. And what's cool with this is I could just draw the walls of my house. So let's say my house looks like this. And then right here, I could just select, let me expand this tool shelf if I can get the, right here, I could just select room from draw. And as you can see, it draws my room. I could add a floor and a ceiling. And then I could quickly just add, for example, a window. So I could select panel window. And I could add a window right here. This is a really big window for the walls. But once I add this window, again, guys, this is the Archimesh add-on. Once I add the window, I could just click right here and select auto holes, and it will automatically create a Boolean for that window. So now I have a hole in the wall, which is pretty cool. And same with the doors. For example, if I Shift S cursor to selected, I could add a door right here, rotate it. Hold on. Right here, RZ90, GZ, bring it down. Where did the door go? For crying out loud. All right, let me try that again. There we go. I could add a door. Obviously, again, the scale is way off, but then I can select auto holes, and now I have a door right here. Although it's not working properly for some reason. Hold on. I think my my room needs some thickness. That's why there's no thickness to the room. So add some thickness to the room. There we go. And right here, let me try that again. Auto holes. Where is it? Auto holes right there. And now you can see that we have a door for our house. And same with the windows. I don't know if that answers your question right. After you cut holes, how do you apply subdivision modifier for displacement texture? So first, Grumpier, let me ask you, what are you trying to displace on the wall? Mary the Bat says, is there any way to see the transparency of a transparent object on the EV renderer? I can only see it in cycles. Yeah, that's a great question. Let me show that brick texture. So Grumpier, let me answer Mary the Bat's question first, and then I'll get to your question, Grumpier. I wouldn't necessarily use a displacement for the. Are you going to see the bricks really up close or not? Because if not, I would use a texture instead of a displacement. So Mary, and let me get back to your question, Grumpier, in a second. So Mary the Bat asks how to see transparent materials in Eevee. Yeah, so in Eevee, for example, I have these windows. Again, guys, you're not going to see the settings I click on, so make sure to join in the Zoom. Mary the Bat, join in the Zoom or at least go to the YouTube stream because on Instagram, you only see a third and you're not going to see the settings that I click. On here, if I go to the glass material right here, I could go ahead and let me go to the glass. Let me see what kind of glass material this is actually, because all right, let me go to cycles. Maybe it's already transparent. So you can see that here in cycles, the glass is already transparent. However, in Eevee, that doesn't happen. So in Eevee, the reason Eevee is so, thank you, that answers my question. I really appreciate it, Grumpier says. Anytime, my friend. And I could also show you quickly how to make a brick texture if you want, or a couple of tricks for the brick texture. So in Eevee, the reason Eevee is so fast, guys, is because everything is turned off, basically. And you need to re-enable everything, including transparencies. So in Eevee, you want to go to your material, and down under settings, you have a little tick box that says screen space reflections or refraction, excuse me. So enable screen space refraction right there. Then on top of that, you need to go to the render properties and enable screen space reflections right here. And then on this drop down, enable refraction right here. And now it will be transparent. So again, you need to enable all three of those settings. Now right here, it is not that transparent. So again, I'm not really sure what kind of material they have on here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a glass shader on here. Right there. And now the glass will be transparent, although it doesn't look transparent. Hold on. Principled BSDF. Let me put the transmission to 1 and the roughness down to 0. And let me make sure that those are assigned to it. There we go. So again, you want to enable screen space refraction. And again, you want to, in the render properties, enable screen space reflections and refraction. Now you could also, the blend mode right here, you could also change the shadow mode to be none so that there's no shadows. And right here, you could also mess with the blend mode. And there's also this refraction depth right here. And as you can see, this is going to be the actual kind of how thick the glass pane is. So this refraction depth right here, it will actually give thickness to your glass. Thanks. I just tried it and worked. Awesome. I don't know why it's not working too well here. Maybe because I have no light in my scene. That could be the reason. But, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's because I had no light in my scene. It looked like it wasn't transparent. But yeah, also another thing, mess around with the refraction depth right here. This will change the IOR and change the depth of your glass, basically. All right. Thank you. That answers my question. Really appreciate it. Okay, I read that. Awesome. I sent you one of my latest works and references of what I'm trying to make. All those questions were about that reference image. Feel free to check it out. Did you send it on the site? Yeah, I guess on the site. Where did you send it, my friend? I see you're on the site. If you could post in the public chat at venue. I tagged you in the public chat. I'm not sure where you sent it on the site. Or did you? No, you didn't miss. I tagged you in the public chat, my friend, if you want to put it. Oh, Instagram? Oh, yeah. I'm not looking at Instagram right now because I'm live. But if you want to send it on the public chat on blendermania3d.com. Guys, I check that more than Instagram. I'm on there 24/7. So yeah, I do see you on the oh no, wait, that's Venu who's on the site. All right, does anyone have any questions? Any other questions? Great questions so far. Safir says some shader nodes are not working in Eevee. How we know that the node is working or not? So which shader node, my friend? There are some nodes that are cycles only. What's up, Amanpreet? He says, whoa. There are some nodes that are cycles only, Safir, such as the displacement node and some other nodes that are cycles only. But which node are you talking about specifically? Hi. Who said hi? I can't see. Chat disconnected. Successfully connected. Well, someone said hi on YouTube. I don't know who it is. Cooley. Amanpreet says, what's up, Amanpreet? All right. Does anyone have any other questions? We'll get into the live tutorial here soon in like 5 minutes, guys. Again, guys, we do this every single weeknight. Every weeknight, same time, same place. We have a live Q&A and a live tutorial. And of course, blendermania3d.com is the official site for this community. Excuse me. Just repeat it, Safir says. Thanks. Yeah. I was talking about the live. Yeah. All right, let me create a new scene right here. Guys, we're going to be creating some low poly clouds with geometry nodes. Odd and on. Not really sure what that means, my friend, but totally. We're going to be creating, if no one has any other questions, we'll get into the live. We're going to be creating some low poly clouds with geometry nodes because we've been creating a low poly scene. It's going to be very simple and pretty fast, and it's going to be very cool, though, and very satisfying. So if you're afraid of geometry nodes, don't worry. This is going to be super simple. All right. Does anyone have any other last questions before we get into the tutorial? And again, Safir, let me know what nodes are not working for you, my friend, because it's hard to tell without knowing which nodes. Again, some nodes are cycles only nodes. All right, guys. So over here, this is the scene that we've been working on. Once I can find my file. Let me see. 5 hours later. Okay, here it is. So this is the scene that we've been working on, guys, the low poly scene. And again, this is the shorts on my Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you miss anything, you can watch the shorts there. But we are going to go ahead and create some low poly clouds using geometry nodes. You can see how Amanpreet says, I can see everything. So if you guys have your low poly scene, go ahead and open it up. And if you don't, I will share my scene on blendermania3d.com. I'm going to put it in the public chat. You could download it if you want to follow along. So I'm going to post it in the public chat. Feel free to download it. You could also follow along in a new scene without the low poly without the other low poly stuff if you want. All right, we're going to be creating some low poly clouds with geometry nodes. Again, this is going to be simple, guys. So if you're scared of geometry nodes, don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. All right. Let's rock and roll. And then if someone has another question after the live before we end off, if it's a simple question or short question, I'll answer it. So with that, guys, let's rock and roll. We're going to make some low poly clouds with geometry nodes. I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to add in a cube. Yes, we are adding and using the default cube. Fancy. All right. So just add in a cube. And then we're going to change our timeline or our shader editor or whatever to the geometry node editor. And we're going to click on new and add a new geometry nodes. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to turn this into a volume. So there's a node exactly for that. We're going to hit Shift A and we're going to search for a mesh to volume. As the name implies, this is going to transform our mesh into a volume. Now you can't really see it here. So if we go to cycles and rendered viewport shading mode, you can see that our cube is now a volumetric, as you can see right there. Very cool. Right here, we have the density, so we could change how dense this is. I'm just going to leave it to 1. And we have voxel amount and some other settings. I'm not going to get into it because otherwise it will get too complex. But basically, this mesh, this node, again, turns our mesh into a volume. Then we want to distribute points into this volume. And once again, we have a node just for that. It's called the distribute points in volume. And we're going to drop that after. So this is going to add points in the volume. We could change the density of the points, etc. I'm just going to leave it to 1 right here. We also have it random. As you can see right here, it's randomly distributed. Or we could distribute it as a grid right here, as you can see right there. I'm going to leave it to random. And then, like I said, we have the density amount. This is for how many points there are. And the seed right here is going to randomize where these points are. I'm just going to leave everything to the default. We're almost done with our clouds, guys. Literally. After this, I want to add an icosphere wherever there are these points. So I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to get an instance on points and drop that after. Once again, an instance is a duplicate or a copy of an object. And the points are the points that we just had previously. So for the instance, out of the instance, I want to add an icosphere for every point that there is. So out of the instance, I'm going to left click and drag from here and get an icosphere. And now we have an icosphere for each of these points. Let me also go back to solid view. I'm going to put these subdivisions on the icosphere to 2. So now we have this right here. Pretty cool. I want to then randomize. Bro, how are you? I'm doing good, Hadir. How are you, man? How to get to know if this node only for cycle node. Safir, if you go to Google and type in that node in Google, you'll get the Blender documentation and it will say if it is cycles only or not. You could also type into Google cycles only Blender nodes, and there should be a list of the cycle only nodes. There's not that many. It's like four or 5 different ones. I know the displacement is cycles only. The bevel node is cycles only, or at least some of the settings, and maybe a couple others. All right, I now want to randomize the scale of these. So out of the scale, I'm going to get a random value right here. Right now, it's affecting the X, Y, and Z axis. So I'm going to change this from vector to float right here. And I'm going to plug it back into the scale. With it set to float, guys, a float, it sounds like a weird name, but a float is just any number that can have a decimal. So 0.7 is a float. 2.2 is a float. 1.4 is a float. Again, a float is a number that can have a decimal. So it's basically any number. That's what a float is. Is this a GeoNode tutorial? Not necessarily. This is I guess it kind of is. This is, we're creating a low poly scene, and this is the shorts that are also on my Instagram for this week. But this week we are creating a low poly scene. So yes, right now we are creating some low poly clouds with geometry nodes. So guys, right here, the minimum value is the minimum size you want the clouds to be. So I'm going to put this to 1. And the maximum is the maximum size you want these clouds to be. So I'm going to put it to 3, or actually 2. All right, so now we got this right here. Hi, what's up, IG Nova? IG Nova. All right, right here, we're then going to go into edit mode. Guys, this is the cool part. We can now grab any part of our cube. And before we do, I'm going to select the whole cube, right-click, and subdivide it. Then I'm going to turn on proportional editing with the O key. Again, O key turns on proportional editing. I'm going to grab just a random vertex. And right here, let me change this back to median point. Again, I'm changing my pivot to median point. Right here, I could grab a vertex and move it out. Grab another vertex, move it out. And now we got some low poly kind of clouds right here. How awesome is that? Pretty freaking sweet. Last thing, I want to add a material to this. I am beginner. Hey, it's all good, man. We all start at the same level. We all start as beginners. So to add a new material, after the instance on points, I'm just going to get a set material node. And right here, I'm just going to go to the material properties and add a new material. I'm going to call it clouds. And right here, I'm just going to get the clouds material. And again, for this material, you could change it to whatever color you want. Obviously, I'm going to leave it to white. And now check this out, guys. We could just hit Shift-D, duplicate this, go into edit mode, grab any point of our cloud, and change it up a little bit. And now we have this awesome low poly cloud generation or generator right here. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate a couple of low poly clouds. Again, if anyone missed anything, these are the shorts. Again, creating this whole low poly scene are the shorts that are on my Instagram and on YouTube and TikTok. So just watch the last 4 or 5 shorts, and we create the lake, the trees, the fire, and the clouds. So now we have some low poly clouds. Damn, amazing, IG Nova says. Yeah, GeoNodes are fun. Tell me difference between iClone and Blender. I've never used iClone. That's the difference. Honestly, I can't tell you the difference. I've never used iClone. GeoNodes are amazing. You get hooked fast once you start understanding the basics. It's really amazing. Heck yeah, GeoNodes are awesome. I mean, look at this, guys. Just with the lakes, we could just draw the lakes, and wherever we draw a lake, the trees disappear. That's how powerful GeoNodes are. It is so awesome and so satisfying. So yes, GeoNodes are freaking sweet. Handir says, whoa. So guys, that is all for the live tutorial. Does anyone have any questions about what we just covered? If you have a question on what any of these nodes does, what a certain setting does, what something means, what's the meaning of life, does anyone have any questions about? Safir says, thanks. That was a mean to ask. Appreciate and thanks for your answer. Hey, anytime, brother. I wish I can watch the whole thing. Got to go now, but I will watch it later. Thank you so much. Hey, anytime, man. They're recorded and they are on my YouTube. See ya, Yusuf. Clouds collision. What do you mean by clouds collision? Like how to make stuff collide with the clouds? Have a great day, Dooney says. Hey, you too, brother. Uh, to make stuff collide with the clouds, could definitely do a tutorial or something on that another time. Right now, I'm asking if anyone has questions as far as the tutorial right here. But yeah, for a clouds collision, you could definitely do some cool stuff with geometry nodes. Let me see if I could open up this file here. Uh, let me see. Wait, hold on. Guys, I have so many folders. I don't even know what's what anymore, or where what is. Let me see. Uh, Geometry nodes. Bonus section. Simulation nodes. Um, yeah, I forget where my file that I'm looking for is, but let me see. I don't even remember how does this file work? Yeah, I mean, as you can see, guys, this right here is geometry nodes. It's kind of like a slime effect. This was supposed to be the Blender logo, by the way, and it looks more like a freaking goldfish cracker. So MG says, "Hi, what's up, brother?" So yeah, this is my failed attempt at a Blender logo. Again, it looks like one of those goldfish crackers. But as you can see, this is geometry nodes, and this is using the simulation nodes and geometry nodes. Again, there's so much you could do in geometry nodes. It's crazy. Yeah, there's my Blender logo. I'm not going to show that to Tan, who's the Blender founder. Dude, we need simulation node tuts. Yeah, man. The next course I'm working on is actually going to be a simulation physics. It's going to be rigid body, cloth physics, simulation nodes, all of that. So it's going to be a simulations course. So I'm going to get into a lot of simulations with geometry nodes and stuff like that. I'm not going to do water simulations with the water sim because the water sim sucks and it always breaks and I hate it. So maybe I'll do one or two, but yeah, the fluid simulation is just it works if you do something basic. Like if I do quick effects and I do a quick liquid, like okay, yeah, it works. But if I change anything, it always breaks and it's just a pain in the butt. It's just like I don't like the fluid sim. How do I get the mesh back? Anyways, I'm just messing around with stuff at this point. All right, guys. How much stuff from Blender Kit is okay to use in your scenes? Please, next time live on YouTube. I am live on YouTube, IG. So IG, Nova, I am live on YouTube. Blender Mania on YouTube. And by the way, the best place to be is not even YouTube. It is on Zoom. So you could join in the Zoom directly and you could watch directly from the Zoom and you will have the best viewing experience because there's a Q&A, there's a chat, and you could see the screen in full screen. But yeah, I am live on YouTube as well. How much stuff from Blender Kit is okay to use in your scenes? It all, IG says amazing. It all depends, my friend. It depends if you want to say like, hey, I made everything. It also depends what the goal of your project is. If you want to just like make everything and learn, or if you have a deadline and it's a paid commission, or you're trying to get like a game or a certain animation out there. It all depends. There is no right answer. You can use all of it assets in your scene, depending on if you're doing a big project, or you can use 50% or 10%. There was a video game that came out called Choo Choo Charlie, and I watched some videos of the making of, and he just made the train models and the cabins, and everything else was basically assets. And apparently, it's a pretty popular video game and stuff. So it depends what your goal is, man. I did an animated short. I made everything from scratch myself, but that's because I wanted to. Can you make wind of sand? Absolutely. All right, guys, this is going to be the last question I get to, and then we're going to end off. So the question is, can you make wind of sand? Basically, can you make sand blowing in the wind? So for sure, we can do that. So let's do that right here quickly. Let me check YouTube quickly. I am back. What's up, Jod or what? Woo, it's cool. Rifiki says, what's up, Rifki? So, not Rifiki. Oh, lot Al, what's up? What's up, guys on YouTube? I love it. The YouTube audience is so different than Instagram audience. That's great, bro, Hadir says. All right, so see you next Saturday, buddy. See you next Saturday, brother. All right, guys. So this is going to be the last thing that I show, and then we're going to end off. By the way, guys, tomorrow at 12 noon, we have a live contest. So at 12 p.m. PST, you could feel free to join and watch, or you could partake. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Saphir asks, can you make wind, basically sand and wind blowing the sand? Excuse me. So let's go ahead and do that. So my friend, the way I would do that is I would just add a plane, and then I'm going to scale up the plane. And then on this plane, we're just going to add a particle system right here. So go to the particle system and click on new to add a new particle system. And right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the end frame. So right now, if we play it, you can see it plays like this, but we want all of the particles to already be there. So I'm going to put the end frame to 1. So now you can see that they're all there all at once. However, they're falling, which we obviously don't want for our sand. So I'm going to go down here to field weights, and I'm going to turn the gravity off. So the gravity is now off. However, you can see that they're still floating upwards. And that's because under velocity, so again, the velocity is basically the kind of initial motion that something has. You can see that under velocity, the normal is set to 1, meaning it's moving along the normals at a speed of 1 meter per second. So we'll just put this to 0 so that it doesn't move. And now if we play it, you can see that our sand doesn't move at all. So it doesn't move. Let's also put the lifetime of the sand up. So I'm going to put the lifetime to 250 all the way up here. So I'm putting the lifetime up. All right, so now we have our sand. For the sand, we don't want them to be these halos. If we go to render, you can see it's set to halo. You don't want halo because halo is not going to render out. So we want to change these to an actual object. So I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to add an icosphere right here. I'm going to move this icosphere to the side. And on my particles, I'm going to go ahead and go to the render tab. I'm going to change this to object. And again, let me know if I go too fast or you get lost. And under instance object, I'm going to select the icosphere as the instance object. So now we have our sand here. Obviously, it's giant sand, but we could change that. Then for the wind, really simple, guys. We're just going to hit Shift A and go to force field. And we have a wind force field right here. So we're going to add this wind force field. Now you can see that we have an arrow right here. This arrow is the direction that the wind is going to blow in. So I'm just going to hit RX 90 negative and rotate it so that it's pointing this way. And I'm going to move it back a little bit over here. So now we have this right here. So if I play this, you can see that our sand, let me just move it in the middle. You can see that now our sand is kind of blowing in the wind. Now, obviously, right here, obviously you need a little bit more to this because right here it looks absolutely terrible because it's all kind of, it's all moving at the same time, and it's all basically one solid kind of movement. So we could actually change this end frame. We could change the end frame to like 20 or something. so that our sand particles appear at different times. In fact, I'll put the end frame to like 100 maybe. So now let me put it to like 250 actually, 250. So now you can see that we have sand particles appearing at different times and kind of blowing in the wind like so. Now, obviously, you wouldn't have your sand particles so big. So right here under render, you could put the scale down. So we could put it down to like 0.01. And now we have a bunch of tiny sand particles. We could also increase the number right here. So I could put like 4,000 or 5,000 sand particles. And now you can see that we have a bunch of sand blowing in the wind like this, as you can see right there. Now, guys, with this sand stuff, you can make some cool things. I don't know if you guys saw the short on making a Sandman, but let me show you quickly and then we'll end off. And let me know if that helps you, Safir. So your daily dose of Blender. Let me see, sand. Making a Sandman. Oh, shoot. Making a Sandman. Sandman 3. So right here, guys, check this out. We have a Sandman. Let me delete the camera. So check this out. We have a Sandman forming and standing up, just like this. And again, this is one of the tutorials on my YouTube and Instagram and all that. This was the short for, I forgot what day it is. But as you can see, we have sand particles blowing in the wind and forming into this guy right here. Pretty cool stuff. Do you have courses? I do. Bro's really good at teaching this. Thank you, my friend. I do have courses. So let me share with you quickly that, and then we'll end off. So check this out, guys. We create a Sandman. So guys, yes, I have a lot of courses. I have courses literally on holy shit, Spider-Man 3. Love it. Absolutely. Again, this is a short. So guys, I have courses on literally anything and everything. I have a geometry nodes course that goes over every single geometry node there is. And so let me get you the info for that. Let me actually post it here and then we'll end off. And guys, we do these lives every single weeknights. So for any of my courses, and by the way, guys, when you go to my courses, if it says like $80, you don't have to pay that. Just send me a message on blendermania3d.com and I will send you a coupon so that you could have it for $10. So just send me a coupon if you want any of the courses and I'll send you that. Let me share my screen here and then we'll end off, guys. Right here. So guys, if you go to udemy.com, udemy.com, and search for my name. My name is Alex, and then the last name, yes, the last name is French. I know it's a little tricky, but search for Alex Cordabard on Udemy. And then right here, this is the newest course, by the way, guys. I launched this like a week ago. It's a scenes course. It's really awesome. But here, if you click on my name, Alex Cordabard, you could go to my profile or just search my different courses there. And I have, right here, I have many different courses. As you can see, there's a geometry nodes course, a sculpting course, a shader nodes course. There's an AI animation course, and there's a bunch of different courses. Now, like I said, if you want any of them, because you can see the price right now is like $15, $17, $14, $18, whatever. Send me a message. I'll send you a coupon so that you could have it for less. You could have it for like $10 or whatever. So just send me a message. The best place to reach out to me is blendermania3d.com. If you create an account there, you can message me there. So just send me a message on blendermania3.com. I'll get you a coupon for any of the courses that you might want. But yeah, if you want to learn geometry nodes, guys, I made a geometry nodes course. It goes over every single geometry node in depth, how to use it, and we create some awesome scenes. The course is 55 hours long, and we go over every single geometry node in existence. It is awesome. I spent 6 months doing that course and a lot of work into it. So So yeah, guys, with that, I'll post the link for my Udemy courses here. I know you can't really click links on Instagram. I don't know why. It's terrible. Hey, bro, YouTube live stream way better than Insta. Me hater. Yeah, that's what I said. And even better than YouTube is if you're on Zoom directly. But yeah, the YouTube stream is better than Instagram because you could see it in full screen. On Instagram, you're stuck to like a third of the screen and you don't know what the heck's happening half the time. And yeah. Thank you. You are the best. OJ Taylor says. OJJ Taylor says. Anytime, brother. All right, my friends. That is pretty much it. Hey, I appreciate you all. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I know some people already started their weekend. For me, I'm in California, so it's Friday for me. And by the way, guys, tomorrow we have a live contest at 12 noon PST. That is, let me see how many hours that is from now. That is about 11 hours from now or so. Wait, no, that's not correct. 12 hours. It's about like 16 hours from now. Just type in 12 p.m. PST Saturday. What's the contest about? It's a live contest. So basically, I'm going to announce a theme. Let's say the theme tomorrow is I don't know. Let's just say it's like computer is the theme. So I announce the theme and then people have 1 hour to compete. People are going to be sharing their screen live and competing live, and they have 1 hour to make the theme computer, and then we have voting, etc. And you can feel free to be a viewer or a participant, however you want. So again, make sure to come watch it at least if you don't want to be a participant. It's a lot of fun. If you're brand new to Blender, you can participate or do whatever you want. Love you, brother. See you tomorrow, Hadir says. See you tomorrow, man. Jodder what says, bro. Bro, what's up, bro? Bro. Bruh. All right, guys. How to join? Zoom ID, never mind. Zoom ID, never mind. No, it's actually going to be a different Zoom link, my friend. It's going to be a different Zoom link. So the best way to join, again, guys, go to blendermania3d.com. The link is going to be posted on the public chat on blendermania3d.com. Yes, I will live stream it. But again, all the info, all the links, all the challenges are on blendermania3d.com. And it will be posted in the public chat. So the link for the contest tomorrow, it's a different link than this Zoom. So just go to blendermania3d.com. I love the captions here. They're not really working that well. Got it. Thanks. Anytime, Grumpier. So with that, guys, hey, hope everyone has a great Friday. I'm going to record a short here and then do a little bit of gaming because it is Friday after all. You know, well, I was going to say you got to have fun, but guys, I love Blender. So Blender's fun, but yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of gaming. And then tomorrow we will have the Blender live contest. And with that, guys, that is it for this live. Appreciate you all. We'll see everyone tomorrow at 12 noon PST. Again, blendermania3.com. If you want to share your work, if you want to say hi, if you want a coupon for any of the courses, if you want the links, etc., etc. So we'll see everyone tomorrow. See you guys. Ciao for now. Au revoir. See you tomorrow.